Greetings and salutations, and welcome once again to the Capeless Crusaders, your number one, supposedly, podcast for anything comic book related. My name is David Barry at Dr. Barry on varying social media platforms. We have a heck of a blockbuster of a show for you tonight. Introducing to my right, we have...
I don't always crusade, but when I do, it's capeless.
Oh,
this is the Azorian one, Anthony Sheaves.
I thought you were going to say something else, and I was like, man... This is still a PG show. How about over on the left?
Greetings, foolish mortals. Ooh. This is the Mad Piper, at the Mad Piper on the Instagram. Also, His Majesty, M-A-D-J-E-S-T-Y, on the Twitter.
Oh, he's back.
Also, streaming on that Twitch there.
Ooh.
Lots of streaming.
Yeah.
You're streaming as well.
Streaming Willie Beeman.
We are streaming all the time.
Yes.
Our streams of Call of Duty. If you want to find that, twitch.tv/Capeless Crusaders. Oh, is that a mouthful for you? Well, you can go to thecapelesscrusaders.com.
Boom.
Hub for everything Crusader related. Anything and everything when it comes to us. The Twitch link is there. The blogs are there. I talked about Bendis. You can catch all kinds of stuff.
We're on every day of the week.
And all of that is brought to you in part by Computer Booter.
Oh.
Our local haven for retro games, game lounge, and if I cracked my phone, they could also fix it.
Yep.
And
they'll do it.
If our streaming computers go out, they could probably fix that too.
Most likely.
Yeah.
They're pretty solid.
We have a need for Computer Booter.
We are down with the booter. So tonight, we're going to do everything else later because we have a guest.
Hashtag down with the booter.
Down with the booter. We have a wonderful guest. We have two wonderful guests. That's the best part.
Yeah.
We need to get to one of them now because we didn't know he was in a different time zone.
Had no idea.
So we're going to call up. We have Mr. Tim Seeley about to be on here. What can we say? Comic book artist, comic book writer. Steve's is a big fan, so we're going to ring him up right now.
Also, a Tim.
Also a Tim.
Mr. Seeley, do we have you?
Yep.
Yay! Thank you for coming on.
Uh-oh.
Let me get this a little closer. Can you hear us now?
A little better? A little better?
Let me try something. There. How's that?
Can we hear you? We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Hey!
Yes! There we go.
Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to chat with us. Apologies, we did not realize you were in the Central Time Zone. We thought you were West Coast for some reason.
No. I'm from Chicago, and I try not to be West Coast.
Yeah.
Okay.
From that, no, we got it.
No way. We're not that bad. Right off the bat, like I said, thank you for coming on. I'm going to have my friend Anthony right here to the right. He is a very big fan of all of your work. He's actually the reason we're talking to you. He's the one that reached out. So he's going to just ask you a couple quick questions. We're just going to hop right in because we want to value your time. So Anthony, take it away.
All right, Mr. Seeley, a pleasure to have you here. I came across your work in 2014 with the /My First Maniac. And I fell in love with this character, with the angle, as a horror fanatic. Before I get there, let's go into like your upbringings, how you came here. So, when you started out, was it you wanted to go right into comic books, or did you want to do something before comic books? What got you to where you are?
No, I pretty much hate everything except comics. So when I was in, I grew up in central Wisconsin in a small town that's actually the setting for Revival.
Nice.
And I was always, just kind of a comic book kid and, genre kid. And I always wanted to do comic stuff, so I majored in illustration in college. I always thought I would just be drawing. I wasn't like super interested in writing. At least I didn't think so. And then I started writing stuff for myself to draw, and I kind of realized that's actually what I like better. Because I actually like the making shit up part of creativity rather than, I think drawing it tends to be a lot more technical when you actually do it for a lot of, for a long time. And then, so after college, I got a job at a children's book company for a couple of years, and I did freelance comic stuff at night.
Nice.
And then I got a job. I had interned at Marvel Comics when I was in college, so I kind of knew editorial stuff, sort of. So I got a job at Devil's Due, which was a new company out of Chicago. So I moved there, and I worked on G.I. Joe as an editor. and then I kind of got sucked into drawing it, and then to keep myself from going crazy, I started writing hack slash. So somehow that's kind of the overall career path.
Nice. So, with starting out, was there any inspirations you had as you started doing your work, both in the artist realm and the writing realm?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up, kind of with limited access to the comic stuff, mostly just Marvel and DC superhero stuff. But I was always interested in just about everything I found. So very early on, I was super into, like the horror magazines and the Conan black and white magazines.
Nice.
And then in high school and college, I kind of found indie comics, and that was kind of a good time for it in the mid '90s. So stuff like The Crow and Scud the Disposable Assassin, and the Image comics, I think, were the biggest influences on me by the time I wanted to start my own stuff. So that's kind of, I think, why, as soon as I was able to, I was kind of making my own, creator-owned stuff right away.
Awesome. Mr. Seeley, I have 2 questions for you real quick. One, you said you're based in Chicago now, correct?
Yeah. I've been here for 16 years.
Best Chicago pizza?
Oh, Pequod's. It's not even close.
Okay.
Interesting.
There's
okay.
only one Chicago
That is
pizza.
not. That is. I married into a Chicago family, and so they are very hard line on their Lou Malnati's. So I wanted to ask you.
Oh yeah, no, Lou Malnati's is okay.
Oh, my father-in-law is not listening. I hope. My question is more. I didn't know that I didn't realize you interned at Marvel. So I know you've had the creator-owned stuff. You did the DC. Why is it just the opportunity hasn't arisen, or is it you don't want to work for Marvel?
Oh, I've worked for Marvel a lot, actually.
Oh.
I mean, so I started in 2002 at Devil's Due, and I worked there till 2005 or 6, and then I worked for Marvel pretty much, on and off the entire. It wasn't until 2013 I started working at DC, really.
Interesting.
So I did pencils for Marvel stuff, and I wrote 2 or 3 things for them. I wrote sorry, that's the train. I live right next to the train.
Okay.
The Chicago train.
But it's a Chicago original right there. But I drew and wrote an Ant-Man book. I wrote a Deadpool book. I drew a bunch of the Marvel Tales kind of. They did a kids series line. I did a bunch of Spider-Man. So I worked for them for a long time.
Oh,
Nice.
Interesting. I do.
But no one saw it, I guess. I mean, Deadpool Thanos is probably the biggest one I did, which
Oh.
I was gonna say, I read that one.
Yeah. I guess, I think it's just because when people they associate you mainly with your independent stuff, and then they're right in the mix with DC, and I think that's why just when most people think Seeley, they think of those. Now I do see that you did work on the Dark Elf trilogy, the Forgotten Realms book, correct?
Yeah, I drew a lot of Drist for a long time.
Did you work with I don't know if I get his name right, but Salvatore? Did you work with him, or did you work with someone else?
Yeah, I mean, so it's R.A. Salvatore, Robert, but we always called him Bob.
What?
And
That's
we
cool.
worked with him. The rights were owned by Wizards of the Coast at the time, but yeah, Bob was the coolest dude. We went to. We would go to Gen Con to hang out with him and talk Dungeons and Dragons, and he'd tell stories about when he was a bouncer, and he was awesome.
That's great.
And that was, for me, that was pretty cool, because I read, those Forgotten Realms series books when I was 12, 13.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm
was
with you.
pretty
They were the best. They were my favorite fantasy series, still up until now. I can never ever, because I hear a billion people pronounce the main character's name different. Everyone's got a different way of pronouncing it. Do you know how to actually pronounce his name?
I've heard Bob say Drist, Drizzt, and Drizzt.
He can't
I
say
think
3
it's-
different ones. That's not fair.
Yeah, I think
It
he
evolves.
usually says Drist.
Oh, okay. Now I know.
I've heard all 3.
Nice. I looked that up because I didn't realize my favorite fantasy writer, hands down. So I thought that was fantastic to just not even, I was aware of, again, the Image stuff, the hack slash, the stuff that Steve's was aware of. But yeah, that's awesome. I'm good. I'm happy. What do you got?
I have been around for a very long time. That's the thing. So I have so many projects under my belt that I forget some of them. So it's understandable that other people don't know about them.
It's amazing. So, as I said, in 2014, I began an unhealthy obsession with Cassie Hack. I've gone to meetings. I can't break it. It's still there. How did you come across creating this character, the story of Hack Slash?
Well, so the longer story is that when I was a kid, my dad was a big movie buff, like big VHS horror movie buff.
Yes.
So all throughout, like when I was a kid, anytime I would go say goodnight to my dad, or we would sit around on a Saturday or whatever, he would always be watching like some slasher movie or some vampire movie. So I always had that stuff around when I was a kid. And then when I first started Devil's Due, I was working on G.I. Joe stuff as an artist. And at the time, like Hasbro was kind of going through some weird restrictions about what kind of content they were okay with. So they would be like, 1 month we could do the level of, action and violence and stuff and content that they had done in the 80s. But then all of a sudden it would be like, hey, nobody can point a gun at another person, or, it was just like weird restrictions.
Yeah.
And they would have like the women couldn't have boobs, basically. Like they were really nervous about boobs. And so like, I took I just wrote down like a list of all the things we couldn't do.
Oh.
And then I just decided to make a comic with all the things we couldn't do.
That's fantastic.
But it was like Halloween weekend, and I had the flu, and so I wrote down, or I sat down and ended up watching like AMC used to have these like
Fear Fest.
24-hour marathons of horror movies.
Yes.
Or something. So I watched, kind of in a sick stupor, like I don't know, 16 hours or something of slasher movies, and it occurred to me that they all took place in the same world, basically. So I decided I would be curious to find out, what the person was like who lived in that world. So that was kind of the origin of Cassie. And I kind of, I want to take all the tropes and all the fun stuff about slasher movies, all the dumb stuff about slasher movies, and then add what I thought they always lacked, which was good characters,
Yeah. That's what I love about the Hack Slash story is you take basically, I've said before, you take the Laurie Strode from Halloween, you take the Sidney Prescott from Scream, and instead of making them the victim the whole time, you now flip the table. Cassie, instead of living in fear, decides to now go and hunt these slasher killers, and it's a blend of horror movie and vengeance and like revenge flick. And
like I Spit on Your Grave.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
some grounding in that.
Yeah, and she's such a badass. And you're now being taken over by aliens, aren't you? And they've left. And she basically, like you said, she takes all the dumb stuff and that happens in horror movies and makes fun of it, and yet it's still a horror story in somewhat. While you have this character who just stands up to these killers, and I fell in love with it off of My First Maniac, and then started Googling as much as I could about it.
I mean, it's interesting to me because it's been around since 2004. So I mean, like, the idea that people are still finding it is very heartening to me, because I think there's a tendency, I think, for in a world full of content for things to get sort of churned out. But no, it's great that you found it then. It's still the book that I do the most signing of, and it doesn't sell the most of anything I've done, but it's certainly the one that people seem to gravitate towards or remember the most.
Yeah, and then Teenie Howard, who did take over for Hack Slash Resurrection, I read that first issue, and it's great. It stays in line with the whole Cassie mythos. Also know that I am someone who's trying to be a writer, and I will write a screenplay with your blessing. I will do this for you, sir. I will do this.
You can go ahead, but just know that the movie rights for that are a goddamn nightmare.
So. Of course they are. Why wouldn't they be?
Everything always is. Now, Mr. Seeley, if there was one, because you've been in the in the industry obviously for a very long time, is there a character beyond your own characters? Because I always want to know, is there like a Marvel or a DC or any established character that you really want to take a crack at?
Superman
Oh.
and Spider-Man.
Nice.
Ah.
Yeah.
Big
Big
I mean,
dogs.
but
Yeah, big
the
dogs.
thing is, I never thought I would end up writing Green Lantern, but I really like it. So maybe, I mean, I tend to just sort of, be kind of flexible about that sort of thing. If someone, I'm not the world's biggest Punisher fan, but if someone said, "Hey, can you figure out Punisher?" I'd be like, "Yeah, okay, I'll see what I can do." But I mean, I've liked Superman since I was a kid, and I love the big, sort of bright world of Superman, and that he's just a good guy. Like I like that part. And then Spider-Man was the first superhero comic I ever got, and I think it's probably the best superhero formula. So I don't know. It'd be tough to do, but I definitely. I've never gotten to write him. I got to draw him a bunch, but that's about it.
Nice.
You said something interesting. Can I ask if and when somebody says, "Can you write Punisher?" What is your process for like absorbing a new character and then having to churn that back out in your own fashion or your own words or that?
Well, my process is usually like I try to sit down and figure out what the theme and the overall what the book is really about. So like, for me, sitting down with Green Lantern, I had to figure out kind of. I think it's about standing up to fear and sort of dealing with and making the thing that frighten you become the strength. I think that's kind of the soul of what Green Lantern is about. So, and then trying to think of an entry point that I find interesting as far as a plot. I'm not really a plot guy. Like I don't instantly think of plots. I have to sort of think of the character stuff and the theme first, and then I try to use a plot to illustrate what I think the theme is. So that's usually how I go about it. So like, if it was something with the Punisher, I'd have to figure, I'd probably have to read like a shit ton of Punisher stuff, and then, just sort of discern what I think the value is, what keeps people coming back, what keeps them interested, and then I, usually and what happens to me a lot is, if someone asks me to do something I'm a fan of, I tend to have, or that I have read in the past and know a lot about.
Right.
I tend to use the stuff that they already have, because I know it, and if I don't, I make up new shit. So like,
But there's no method writing or just like like Weekends in the Dark where you're just like, wow, what would Castle do? Like just trying to get into the mind of the character. It's above that, kind of like on a.
No, I just I'd rather not. I'd rather not suffer, Like,
Yeah.
I just.
I mean, it makes sense. It's just-
Yeah.
I'll put yourself through that.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, like for the. I think the only sort of method I think I ever do for anything is, I think, and most people I'm sure do this, is when you're writing something, you try to just find one thing that's sort of already you that you don't have to research. That's just something that you know. So like.
Yeah.
Like for me with Nightwing, like. I remember being a 20-something-year-old guy, single, living in a new city, and that was easy. I mean, that part was not. It's not something I have to research. I know what that's like.
Right.
So I use that, and then I have to research everything else. And then in Green Lanterns, the character Jessica Cruz has anxiety disorder, which I also have.
Right.
So
He was right.
that was the entry point for me, and like I know, what that entails, and the pills you have to take, and the therapy that you have to do, and I know that stuff. So, every time I can find that thing, that sort of helps me ground the story.
Nice.
It's funny because I was reading Batman Eternal and Batman and Robin Eternal and Nightwing, and I'd see this writer's name, Tim Seeley, like, this rings a bell. It's the Hack/Slash writer. This is the guy. And those books are outstanding books. Grayson as well. I did pick up Volume 1 of Revival, read that, loved it. Another horror-like story with an original idea.
I think we read that for the show.
Yeah.
We did read it for the show, yeah. And then you currently have out, which I'm just about to get to, you have issue 1 of Brilliant Trash. Can you
Yeah.
give a quick synopsis on what that story is about?
Brilliant Trash is a cyberpunk superhero story. It takes place sort of just a few years in the future, and this woman discovers a conspiracy, basically that there's this this method of giving everyone on Earth superpowers, but because it's sort of in a world where no one believes journalism and everyone sort of has their own version of the truth, she's having trouble finding a way to disseminate the truth. Also, all these corporations want this technology because they want to make sure they can sell it. So, it's like a conspiracy, cyberpunk meets superhero with some modern journalism concerns as a theme.
Nice.
I should have made it a simpler theme. Or just like a simpler thing. It's like, oh, there's a disease that gives you superpower. Like I didn't. I went in this more complicated direction, and that's probably my fault.
A complex is good, in my opinion. It keeps me thinking.
Well, I read the first issue. I really enjoyed it. To me, it reminded me, because I've actually been on a kick recently of going back and doing Warren Ellis and Garth Ennis, and I always get the two of them mixed up with the N's and the L's. But like Authority and then like Super Gods and Black Summer and all those ones where it's got the more conspiracy driven, but also the power, not just being like, oh, I'm gonna go rob a bank. It opens with a woman wiping part of a city off the planet, which I love that. Like it opens and it's boom. It's just big. It isn't gonna start in a typical superhero fashion and go, okay, here's the origin, here's here's the first villain, here's the second villain. I like that it opens with this catastrophe on a really big level. And like I said, it felt very, like I said, like Super God, like Ellis and Ennis to me, which I really appreciate. Now I noticed there's another Seeley on that book.
That's my brother.
Okay,
nice.
So are you guys writing it together?
Yeah. So the idea actually is one that we came up with together. When we were kids, we used to just jam on ideas. So the comic we did about 12 years ago called Loaded Bible was another idea that my brother and I came up together. And so Brilliant Trash was one of those too. And he's a fine artist and a print guy. He makes sort of like Mondo style prints and fine art prints.
Oh, okay.
But he's a great idea man. So when he's there for an idea or when it's part his, like I always try to include him in on it. And in this case, we're working together on it. He kind of breaks down plot, and then I go back through and add dialogue, and then I pass it to him for some more dialogue, and then we kind of finish it off. We switch off doing the heavy lifting.
Nice. Well, because I know I've seen a lot coming out of Aftershock recently. How long? How many issues is it slated for? Is it going to be a limited run, or is it going to be like?
It's a 6-issue series.
Okay.
With unlimited potential. Like we set it up to be a story that can go on.
Nice.
But it's with a lot of the new stuff coming out, you kind of you plan it for 6, and you can put a bow on it if you have to, if it doesn't set the sails on fire. So, but Aftershock does kind of cool, interesting stuff. They let you experiment. They don't have a set, genre or style. So I don't know. I always wanted to do a cyberpunk kind of, political thriller. And what you're talking about earlier, I think it might have been Garth Ennis who said it even, was just that, there's a difference between a superhero story and a superpowers story.
Yes.
So, I love superheroes, but, there's also something interesting about, the humans and the future technology that's definitely going to deal with our body's potential and limits. So, that's kind of where we were going for with this.
Nice. I'm excited.
Mr. Seeley, as I consider myself the rookie in the comic book world amongst the other, well-seasoned people on the Pantheon here, I'm I'm the young god. Hackslash is one of my top 5 favorite stories of all time in comics. Granted, I'm still reading a lot, but still, top 5. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Of course, thank you so much for responding to my tweet. That was the shot in the dark, and thank you for responding back then.
He just met a hero. Like,
Yeah, I'm giddy right now. Just that you said yes. I was celebrating, clapping in my car just like this. And Tim said yes. And then someone thought I was getting married. But again, Mr. Lee, thank you so much for being a part of our show. We appreciate it greatly, sir.
Hey, no problem. I mean, you guys are doing a thing. You got a good thing going. Keep it up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tim.
Tim Seeley says we got a good thing going.
Yeah. Tweet that. Someone tweet that.
Someone tweet that now.
Anthony Steves goes, friend of the show, Tim Seeley.
Awesome.
Okay, Tim, do we have your approval to call you friend of the show?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
There it is.
That's the one.
Thank you,
is,
sir.
yeah, there it is. Awesome. Mr. Seeley, thank you for coming on. We appreciate. I know the time difference and
Apologies.
And when I'm in Chicago, now and I got a new pizza to try, so I appreciate that too.
He's gonna track you down by
Yes.
train.
We'll find you by
Go
train,
to
sir.
Pequod's. Do not bother with Lou Mayonnaise. It's good, but it's just pizza. But Pequod's is a religious experience.
All right.
Ooh, okay.
What?
Interesting.
My,
New
my, my
sponsor.
wife, who the daughter of the Chicago guy, is back here like flipping a table, but I'm down to try. I'm always down to try.
All right.
So thank you,
Potential
Mr.
new sponsor.
Seeley.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Have a
Take
good
care.
night.
Wow.
I'm gonna go take a nap.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I'm gonna feel
You
good.
go take a cold shower.
I'm gonna take a cold
Is
shower.
a nap what fixes this for you? Or is it-
No. Now you do a bump of coke to come down, and then you run some laps. I figured we kind of threw it out the door when he started just dropping. So anyway.
Yeah, we'll throw the little red tag on.
By the way, we are the Capeless Crusaders.
Good night.
Not yet. No, not yet.
When you're in a comic book store, when you've just got off the telephone
With Tim Seeley.
Tim frickin' Seeley, you need to do just one thing.
What's that?
And I believe the thing is you need to go round the horn.
I like yours this week. That was good. I like that.
Okay, we still have another guest.
Show's still rolling.
Anyway,
We do.
I'm gonna start it off.
Do it. Be
That's what we
selfish.
should
I'm
do.
okay with it.
That's what we gotta do a new thing. Every time we got a guest, we be like, "What's your horn sound?"
Oh yeah.
What's your,
I
what
thought
kind
you
of-
were
yeah.
going to say ask them what book they're reading, but
Oh,
no,
no.
just get them to do a weird,
cares
and
about
then
what book
and
they're
we'll
reading?
compile them all together, and we'll
What's-
form the super track.
You know,
Yeah,
for a
what's your-
future
and then we'll make that the sound every time it goes around the horn.
for a future episode, we'll ask friend of the show Tim Seeley and see what he says.
When we go round the horn, we go around the table in a circular fashion,
Oh,
except for the fact that we no longer have a circular table.
No.
It's been a really long time.
It's a
Did we ever decide that we ever had a
I
round
think
table?
at one point we might have.
Okay.
I'm not actually
All
sure. We talk about comics we've been reading this week. I'm going to start us off. Excuse me. Because actually, on that note, with that Seeley interview,
What's new,
what
diva?
what I I did two things. One, I read Brilliant Trash,
Nice.
which is Seeley's book. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, it actually inspired me to go back and reread The Authority, the first trade of The Authority.
Yes.
Oh, The Authority is just
I like The
is
Authority.
great. The Authority is just so good. Coming out of Jim Lee and the Wildstorm
That's the one in the
universe.
middle of the city, the ship in the middle of the city.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
I
So,
like that one.
The Authority
was
is,
good.
for those of you who are unaware, you might be aware of current DC characters Midnighter and Apollo,
Yeah.
and a lot of the other characters that came out of the Wildstorm universe. The Authority was a super team that handled world-ending problems.
To be fair, they were kind of the superstars of that book anyway.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
They
Apollo and Midnighter
they
are
were
kind of
just-
the.
They're the Batman and Superman. Except
Yeah.
they were married. It's great.
If Batman married Superman.
Yeah, and
Wow.
it's been. It was great to re-enjoy, to re-have the Authority in my life. But
That sounds weird too. Okay.
but yeah, so I you should always go back and read The Authority. It's phenomenal. It's fantastic. It does have some Millar. It's got some Ennis, some Ellis. I can't remember which one is which. And then I read Brilliant Trash, which is Seeley's book, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm excited. I like it so far. I'm down with it. Art's cool. Story's solid. Blows up part of Jerusalem just in time for the holidays.
Hey!
So
That's one of the solid parts. This is one of the.
yeah.
crows?
I'm not saying I'm pro Jerusalem being blown off the earth, but it makes for good story.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. No wise men coming anymore.
So in
That
epic
was safe.
scale,
That was safe.
To my left, Piper, what have you been reading?
I
Please,
am in-
love of God.
I have not been reading anything. I've been twitching a lot
It's
after that bump of Seeley. Yeah, the old flare. No, I've been on the stream nonstop, and then if I was stopping, I was like, I need to eat, and watch Punisher.
Yeah.
I've been watching nothing but Punisher, and yeah, man.
That's my John Bernthal yell.
That
Sorry.
was almost Colossus from the X-Men game.
Or that one. Either way, John Bernthal, Colossus.
Hey, oh man, that John Bernthal. Like was we all say it was born to play the Punisher. You say you love Tom Jane.
I love
liked
Tom Jane.
Thomas Jane.
But that wasn't until John Bernthal.
I never got the Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man.
Yeah,
is
I know
Tony
what you mean. Yeah, yeah.
until John Bernthal.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of people played. Dolph Lundgren played him, and I didn't feel like it was like he was the Punisher. John Bernthal's the Punisher.
Oh yeah, hands down. He is Frank Castle.
Like, Punisher now has a face, and I mean the show like
It's bloodied mostly, but it's a face. He's got the face.
there are pacing issues in my opinion, a little bit, like through the season stuff like that, but I like how it's done. Like
Oh, yeah.
I'm liking the story. I'm liking the characters, just like a couple of little kinks, but by far my favorite of these Marvel shows that have come out.
Hell yeah.
This is the top of the list.
Really?
For me,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So
All right.
that's why I have forsaken my books for the. I have my books actually with me. I picked them up tonight because I have not touched them in like a week and a half.
They're dusty and webs.
Yeah, and Punisher only started for Friday.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I spent none of the weekend reading. I was all streaming and Punisher.
Nice.
I had a great weekend.
I-
It was a great weekend.
I finished the 3rd episode of Punisher, and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
the 3 episodes alone, I'm with you. It's astounding.
Yeah.
It's excellent. John Bernthal, born to play him.
Pretty good.
A good segue because the issue I read is the Punisher Platoon. Upon the
did you read it?
recommendation of Dr. Barry here, I read issue 1 of the Punisher.
Did you really?
Oh yeah. It is a straight war story. It is Frank Castle in the war.
Yeah.
He's not Punisher yet. There's no skull on the shirt and anything. It's a total Vietnam War story. I'm like, you start it and you can start playing like any Jimi Hendrix song you want, or Spirit in the Sky, Spirit in the
Yeah.
Sky. All that's happening.
Rubber Band Man by the Spinners.
Apocalypse
Yeah.
Now
Apocalypse Now.
soundtrack.
Yeah, that was what was in my head the minute it started flipping the page. And it's well written, it's well paced. It's a Frank Castle history lesson, history story. It's really well
You took
done.
immediate action on this, right? Because as of Good Day, you still had not read it.
No,
That was days ago.
He
Like,
bought it. He bought it.
Oh, was
that
it that
day.
day?
I bought it that
He
day.
bought it that day because
Great.
I told him, "Hey man, have you read this yet? Because it's on."
And he was just like,
"It's gonna be on issue
"No."
3."
issue 3, yeah.
And it is.
Oh, I thought it had a run. It was on. It was like a limited.
It is. No, it is. It's still going. It just started.
Oh,
Great time to hop on.
right. Okay, I'll be on. I thought it was like a 4-part run. It was just like a little enclosed thing.
No, it is on issue 3.
It's on issue 3 now.
Yeah.
And it's
issue
good.
3.
It's could do a second trade or.
Dude, I hope so.
Okay.
Because Punisher or not Punisher.
So you're caught up.
I am caught up.
and you love it.
I'm loving it.
Okay.
Because Marvel's doing this Max thing again. They went back to the Max
Oh,
imprint.
Yeah.
Which means no holds barred violence and not gory for gory's sake, but true.
It's relevant.
Gritty.
It's-
That
yeah,
was
it-
Ennis.
Yes.
Thor Max.
Yes.
That was Ennis. That
Yes,
was Garth
and it
Ennis.
is. Dang it! Again, I can't. Is it Ennis or Ellis? Who's
It's
writing
Ennis,
it?
it's Ennis.
Ennis is the gory, like the crazy.
Ennis is, yeah, he's right.
When you see like a club hit the side of your skull and then like an eyeball pop
Yeah.
out, Ennis.
Yeah.
That's Ennis.
that is him.
Remember
Like
that
I was
Ennis.
telling when I first saw it, I texted to Steve about it. I'm
did.
sorry, I took over your.
It's okay. No. Please. Rub my back while you keep going. Please do. No, continue.
I'll just.
Why'd
Thanks,
you
man.
stop?
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I started this book and it was the first because it's when he joins the unit and no one really trusts him because they're like, oh, this guy, like he's never seen combat, we've been here.
Right.
And then he I love it because he listens to the men under his command, and one of them says, no, we don't go past this spot because they don't believe us when we say there's snipers here.
Right.
And we saw a muzzle flash, we know that, and like 2 or 3 of us always get picked off.
Right.
And he's like, you know what, and he grabs the radio.
Yeah.
And he calls in an airstrike. And he says, why waste the men when we got the ordnance?
Right.
And just annihilates it, and then they find sniper rifles in there.
And I think I like that about it and the show, because like the show's doing a little bit of this as well, like where they're presenting him in a way that a lot of times they just show him like in the comic books in the Thunderbolts, I think was one of the last ones I read, where he's just some cocky dude. And he's just like, I got the bullets,
He's
I
just
want to
Punisher.
kill.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm like, no. Like you can portray him as cocky sometimes, but he's smart.
Oh yeah.
That's what makes like Frank Castle's smart.
Yeah. Mhm.
I don't know about genius, but like
He's smart.
He's got
Yeah,
like
he is.
you say street smarts that think Punisher.
Yeah.
that dude knows what's up.
He's the guy who walks into a room and knows right away where the exits are, knows how to get out of a
born.
situation.
He's just like, I
He
know
was-
the license plate.
He was inspired to join. The whole idea is that he joined the Marines because of Captain America.
right.
But he saw so much worse than he's what's the word I'm looking for? When you compare two things, juxtaposition. Thank you. The juxtaposition of the World War II soldiers being the greatest generation. They had a thing to fight for. They were fighting the Nazis. They came back and it was wholesome and American, even though obviously they had their own issues. Cap represented that. Castle represented this. I'm gonna do them justice. I'm gonna join. I'm gonna go fight in Vietnam because my father fought in World War II.
And that's a lot of the show too. That feel of like you come back to your country and what's left for you,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
your superior officers jerking you around and like, oh, this was a covert op. You're like, oh, I didn't know that I was a pawn. Like there's a lot of that gritty side of a war in that.
And by the way, like when I started reading Iron Man comics and how I said like I heard Robert Downey Jr.'s voice,
Yeah.
I hear John Bernthal's voice when I read Punisher. That's what I'm hearing.
See, face of Punisher, man.
Yeah.
Bernthal is Castle.
Bernthal is Castle.
Bernthal
Yes.
is Castle.
Yes. So yeah, Platoon, Punisher Platoon, exquisite, outstanding, and the Punisher series, outstanding. By the way, good name drop saying that we were on Good Day Sacramento last Friday with our good friend Cody Stark. We're just chalking up the friends, list.
Friend of the show, Cody Stark.
Yeah,
Before you know it, Hardwick will be a friend.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Cody Stark, no relation.
We'll build that. We'll rebuild that bridge that I burned.
Yeah, we won't bring it. Let's go back to that. Let's not go back to
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
No,
We burned a bridge?
Forget about it.
Do this in my
Who
absence?
burns bridges?
Who does that?
But you know what you need in order to start a fire?
What's that?
You need wood.
Oh, facts.
Yeah, this is that episode. We're going to go into jazz next.
And
Straight back to the jazz era.
and the reason I say we need wood
Why do we need wood?
because our next guest works with wood.
Nice.
And that was just the worst segue.
Boom.
Might it have been better if
We're
we'd
gonna
have
we're
ham-fisted
gonna
that
call him and he's not gonna pick up. He's gonna be like
No.
I
those
have been
guys.
watching your trash
Turned
show.
off his phone.
Speaking of which,
out the window.
I'm talking about our next guest, who's another Tim.
Hey,
His name is Tim Munsey. We met Tim at the California Republic Comic Con, who we are the official podcast of.
Friends of the show.
Friend of the show.
Hey!
there he is!
I'm
Yeah!
on the screen.
He's already here.
He's ready to go.
Yes.
This is Tim Munsey. We met Tim at CRCC. Tim is
this looks kind of like your Twitch stream.
I think he's set up to be there. And Tim is I call him Tim the Woodworker.
Yeah.
I like it.
Because that is how we met. So Tim, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on. I didn't realize we were gonna have. I thought I was gonna have to stretch out a bunch of crap while we called him, but we were already like we had him on.
Producer Curtis on the dial.
This is the first time we've ever actually had him ready to
Oh, is it
go.
So wait, Tim, did you hear the bad woodworking segue that we made? Did you hear that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Cool.
don't worry about the wood.
No,
the wood. There's a lot of wood jokes, and I apologize.
It was a professional segue. Is all you need
For
to.
all of them.
It was good.
Anyway, so Tim, right off the bat, we walked by your booth and we saw the pop out style of art that you have. Curtis bought one, so
I think we featured it on our Instagram. It was so good.
yeah,
It was just like put
it's
that up.
crazy good. So
Like-
I'm gonna describe it real fast for our audio listeners. There's a few of you still left. Imagine, if you will, you have an amazing comic page, an amazing panel, beautiful action, and you wanted that character literally to pop out of it. So literally. So what Tim does is, and I'm going to have him explain the process because it's awesome, but he has a wooden cutout of the figure that he then bolts on and creates this scene and has the character just leaping right out of the page in this like gorgeous 3-dimensional piece of art.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. It's so cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you.
Thank you.
You
So-
provided this wonderful service.
So Tim, where did you get the idea to do this art style? Like what brought on this work?
Well, at the time that I came up with the idea, I was doing some YouTube videos and trying to think of content, trying to do videos on a regular basis. And I was just sitting around going through some old comic books and it's like, why can't I do this? And so I started working on different ways of doing it. And it's been a progression over the last couple of years. And where we're at now is what you saw.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. There are a couple characters. If I wanted to commission one of these,
Just about to ask this.
Because we've got a couple characters that we're like, yeah,
Well, yeah.
we need to see these.
Yeah.
We got a couple of
I
them.
need a Thanos.
Yeah, the Mad Piper is gonna need a Thanos.
How to have.
Um,
has.
So Tim, is this right now what we're doing? We may look extremely professional,
we-
and like
you
we
are.
do this, but we all have day jobs.
Sure.
So
God.
are you a woodworker by trade, or is this just
No.
your passion that you've turned into something amazing?
This is a passion. I do a Monday through Friday 8 to 5 job. I do technical support, so I'm behind a computer. So
we
I'm
love
a
that.
geek all day.
Let's say half
then
of
I
this
come
podcast
home.
was tech support.
Oh yeah. So then I come home and it's like you guys doing around the horn. As far as the comic books and stuff that you've read, for me it's more which ones have I cut up into little pieces.
So nothing's sacred for you. Do you buy two
well,
copies
actually-
and then pull and then cut one up and then keep the other to read?
Sometimes I do. In fact,
Okay.
I don't know if you guys know Scott Joseph, Fuzzy Joseph.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Friend of the show.
Yeah, he. I was hanging out with him this weekend a little bit, and at the Bakersfield Comic Con, and he gave me a couple of the first copies of the War and Hope,
Oh, okay.
Oh.
and he gave them to me on Saturday. I ran home and glued them up, took them to the saw, and took a piece back to him, using his own comic, and then he gave me.
Nice. Oh, is that a custom cover?
No, this is where
Oh
he
God,
took.
it's a trade.
Trade.
Oh,
Wow.
He took the first, I think the first 3 issues, and put them into
Nice.
the.
That looks thick for
Nice.
three
Rep
issues.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
a story right there.
That's a
and of
big book.
course, I had to get it signed.
Yeah.
There you
And
go.
an illustrator.
So
There you go.
yeah, Scott's a great guy. So now this one I would not obviously.
No.
cut.
Yeah.
Why not? No,
So-
nothing.
Well, because Scott's a lot bigger than I am.
This is true.
So-
We've met him. He's a big
Yeah.
dude. Well, okay.
Yeah,
so
he is.
so now I know you modern books. Not to say they don't have value, but like Piper just brought up, like you could get, grab a couple off the shelf, pay cover price, and cut them up. Now, if someone wants an older style, like if someone's like, hey, can you give me, a Simonson Thor? And some of Simonson's books aren't, they're random ones that
Right.
you can get them out of a cheaper bin. But has anyone ever, has anyone ever given you, like they wanted something, or you've wanted to do something that you were kind of like, that might be an investment in the book, and then it'd be gone?
Yeah, no, I had somebody come to me and say, okay, if I provide you with the comic, will you do it? And my first comment was, not if it has any value to it.
Right.
Right.
I'm going to go out and price it. I'm going to look online, see what it would cost me to buy it. If you're handing me a $300 comic book, I'm going to hand it back to you.
Right.
Right.
Well,
Either that or put it in my own collection.
Right.
just fit something else.
I don't
in
know
there.
where it went.
What's the cutoff on that? Where it's just like, nah, this is a $4
Yeah.
book. Like anything under.
Yeah.
And
under
I
10.
imagine even if you really wanted to go back, I mean, even some Silver Age books, you can get them still.
Right.
You can get an action scene that would work great for your art, and it doesn't have to be a first appearance of, it doesn't have to be a custom Jack Kirby.
Right.
Right.
Um,
Right. I did one that after I started working on it, I went back and it's like, how old is this? And I looked and the comic was printed in 1960.
Oh wow.
Goodness.
And I panicked.
Straight to the computer.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I thought I got this really cheap. It was an old Bugs Bunny.
Oh,
And-
nice.
And the thing is I don't have to go to the high quality. I can go with whatever the lowest quality is,
Right.
because all I need is the main image on the cover to be in decent shape.
Right. Oh yeah, because you don't even really need a whole book. If some got
Not
torn
really.
in half, you could
Mhm.
find something in there.
Oh yeah.
So now, is woodworking something you've been doing your whole life? Is it just something that you stumbled upon, or is it more of a recent thing?
I pretty much stumbled on it about 14 years ago. And then the saw that I use, I bought about 13 years ago, and it's still going strong.
Nice.
For this purpose, or
No, I do all different types of,
okay,
excuse me, scroll saw work.
gotcha.
And then a couple weeks ago, I was real fortunate enough that I did a con where I actually took all the equipment with me and was doing the work while I was there.
That's cool.
And we did some custom backgrounds, took some pictures of folks, either cosplay or one of them was just a family. And I did the same type of thing, but with their picture.
That's awesome. Well, and
So-
and that was Stan Lee's Comic-Con, correct?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, you guys had a heck of a setup. Like
Oh, I
hardly
did.
heroes with the backdrop, and then you working right there on the con floor.
Right.
Yep.
So, how long would that have taken? Like for you to create one of those? What is the average time?
Something like that, 2 to 3 hours.
Okay.
And the main reason is the glue dry up.
Oh, okay.
Because I use epoxy to put the bolt on, you have to have it set
Yeah.
for an hour and a half or so, then the wood glue.
Nice.
So yeah, it's
I was about to
It's a
ask
lot
you
of fun.
something like that. So you said you took a picture of people
Uh-huh.
right there, and then you did, I guess, just like you would for a comic book. I guess this answers my own question, but can you or do you do that for a movie poster? Could you do anything really? Like
Pretty much.
where does it end for you?
as far as a movie poster, the saw itself will do like an 18-inch deep. So I could probably do, with turning it, I could probably do something about 2, maybe 3 feet.
Okay.
I've never done it, but I don't see why I couldn't.
Interesting. Okay.
And this brings up, David, the request for the picture.
Yes. Yeah, so we've
We're
been
gonna-
trying because we're friggin' like wild cats getting us in a room
Oh,
with a
yeah.
camera. It's believe it, the those amazing pictures for our website, thecapelesscrusaders.com. It was to get all of us together to take those pictures. It was a chore.
Oh, I can imagine.
But
Yeah.
but Tim had requested a picture of us,
Oh.
which I can only imagine why he would want that.
Because he likes us so much and wants to see us in the morning when he wakes up.
I was going to have a poster made and hang it on the wall.
Right.
Blow it up and put it up on the wall.
Gigantic.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you what the weirdest thing you've ever done is. I mean,
There it is.
There it is.
I don't know. Recently, I did. I cut out some poop emotes.
Okay.
So
that's a weird, but
that
it's
one-
also popular recently.
yeah,
Topical.
and for some reason, everybody loved them and wanted them. It's
Of course.
okay.
Poop emoji.
Yeah.
everyone knows
I
that.
believe that.
That's a new thingy.
Oh, yeah.
It's a youth. The youths.
Youths, the two youths.
The youth.
For them those younger kids.
Yes.
Okay, so Tim, explain to me the process from when you first get the book to when you can hand it to the person. What do you go through?
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is obviously take the cover off, because take the staples out, take the cover off. Then it's a matter of deciding. I will use 2 pages in the back. One is typically going to be the main character, and then what I'll do is pick a page that's going to go over the top of it. So something like this.
Okay.
Nice. Okay. Oh yeah.
So I use Mod Podge to put all that on, and I'll put the main character off the cover. And this is Trinity Volume 1, number 17. And that's the other thing I'll do is I'll write that down on the edge.
Oh nice.
So if anybody buys it and they want to know what issue it came
Right.
from,
Nice.
they can do that.
Great idea.
So once I have the Mod Podge on, then it's a matter of take this piece to the saw, cut it out. Then I'll epoxy the bolt onto the back. And then I glue some hardware on the back so it can either stand up or hang up,
Yeah.
and drill the hole and put the bolt in.
I love it.
Oh,
it's-
thank you.
I've never seen anything like that, and once I saw it, I was like, duh. Like this is awesome. Like I said, there are characters. I have a child on the way, and if I didn't, I'd have a lot of your work already.
Right.
As my wife is working the switcher. So the actual process of cutting out the character, is anything about that like a digital control, or is that all you by hand?
That's
Well, I
all
mean,
me by hand.
with obviously a giant saw, but
Right.
so that's all
All
you.
by
That's
hand.
all you're just going because the detail. I mean, you get the freaking knuckles on Superman
Yeah.
on there, and like the flowing cape. Like that is so. It's awesome, and I'm glad we ran into you.
This ain't no sixth grade project where you're just cutting
Yeah,
out a
no.
circle.
I had somebody I stream here on Twitch,
Yes,
Yeah.
you do.
and I had somebody in asking questions about what I was doing, how I was doing it. I didn't have a problem explaining it. And he went out and bought the exact same saw I have. And then I talked to him a couple of weeks after he got the saw. And I said, "How's it going?" And he goes, "I'm nowhere near ready to do what you're doing."
I made a
And
stick
it did.
figure.
Yeah.
It's job security. You're like, yeah, so I'm a demigod
Exactly.
at this. So,
Luckily, he's up in Canada.
oh yeah, the market is far, far away.
Your flash that I saw on your Instagram is amazing. That's
Yeah.
the one we
Oh,
use when
thank
we
you.
promoted. That flash is outstanding.
Yeah. Flash, there are a lot of good covers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the movement on him is always
yeah.
super.
Oh yeah.
And the one that I had been looking for is a Blue Lantern Flash.
Yeah.
And that's going to be for myself. Well, there's no covers with it.
Really? Huh.
Yeah. Or if he is on the cover, parts of them are cut off so you can't see it.
I was just about to say, it's like when they all had their rings of power and they were all like
Mm-hmm.
temporary members. He's like down at the bottom, so you can't see him all the way, and like Luthor's
Right.
over here. Interesting.
So
I
how
never
do you
thought-
do something like that doesn't have a dedicated cover, or if you only have a partial or something like that? How do you, or do you not? I mean,
I don't.
okay.
I won't. However, on that specific thing, again, because it's for me,
Right.
I ended up finding that like 2 pages in, there's a full-size picture of the
Oh.
Flash running at you, and there's nothing saying I have to use the cover.
Right.
So the first thing I did was ran out and ordered the issue. And so now it's just a matter of having time to be able to do it.
Right.
Because now that I'm doing cons, seems like I have no time.
Yeah, you're busy.
Yeah. I've already signed up for 9 cons this next year.
Wow. Yeah.
And the next one, actually in a few weeks, is up towards you guys in Modesto.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the
December.
Central Valley Con.
That's Steve's sister city right
Yeah,
there.
it's your area. Of the
209.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So okay, Blue Lantern Flash is what are your? I was about to ask, what are your favorite comics? Like, what are your, not just the characters that you want to like cut out, but what do you actually want to read?
I like the Flash. I'm a Thor fan, but I actually grew up on X-Men and Fantastic Four.
Nice.
And I tell people it's like I like the original X-Men. And back when Wolverine was there, it's like no. Back before Beast had hair.
Was blue, yeah.
Prior to Claremont.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I
Everybody's-
kicked myself because right at that, what was it, around 170, when they did the conversion and they brought Wolverine and everybody in,
Yeah.
and those books skyrocketed in price.
Yeah.
I had them all at one point.
Was it? Is it the parents threw them out when you went to college? What was that story?
No, I had to sell them. And I give them. It was a friend of mine that bought them, and I gave him a really good price on them.
Nice.
But they probably tripled in value within a year after I sold them to them.
Oh.
So
It's always that. It's there's never a good time.
Did the friend know
Oh.
what they had, that it had tripled, or was he just like, he's just sitting on them
No.
like,
Flashback to his friend.
yeah. He knew.
he
he
saw
knew.
it coming.
So, but yeah, and recently I haven't been reading a lot, mainly because I have so many that I go through, that if I was to stop and start reading them,
Right.
I'm going to be subscribing to everything.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
And,
So as it
Yeah,
stands,
I
you
was
just
about to
kind of
say,
like
yeah,
on the
that's-
scroll
that's
saw,
our
just kind of flipping
torture.
through as you go. Yeah.
As you're
This is a
cutting
good
it.
one. This is
Maybe I'll
and
read
then
this.
that's when the hand comes off.
That was perfect.
that was.
I joke around with chat when I'm streaming, and it's like the only reason you guys are here is to see if I'm going to bleed.
Yeah.
He did it. He did it. Look. That would take you immediately through the roof of
yeah.
Twitch views. Then they'd also
Views.
ban you.
Holding his-
One time chat was really quiet, and I figured, okay, nobody's talking, so I screamed.
and all of the lurkers lost it.
What is this?
Dude.
It's a tier 1 subscription.
He did it. He did it.
yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, then another time, I've got a good friend on Twitch, Salty Sketches, incredible artist. And she she's always, anytime she comes in, it's like, Tim, watch what you're doing. Be careful of your fingers. And one time I had been painting a piece, and I happened to have been painting it red. So I've got red paint all over my fingers. And then she came into the stream, and it's like, what happened?
And you just said, these
Well,
easy trick.
yeah,
That's
so
fantastic.
yeah, she panicked and yelled at me.
So, Tim, in the near future, when there's room in my garage and I have enough money, I may ask for a Cassie hack. Just letting you know. Do your research.
That'd be a solid one.
Is this your Godfather
We're
thing,
putting
or
in
just there may
orders.
come a day?
There may
where I
come a day,
request
and that
this?
day may never come.
So yeah, it's I've got a handful of back orders. People are wanting pieces done, but not a lot as far as getting orders, custom orders, custom pieces. Hopefully that'll change.
I feel like it's one of those things where like we saw, Curtis picked up that Black Panther like at CRCC, like he saw it and was like that I need that right now, and he walked back around, he came back and he's like, nope, I'm buying that now.
Right.
But I mean it's you.
Thank you, Curtis.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a lap just to.
Yeah, just relax.
The selection you had, like it's almost like there are only, like I said, there are a couple characters in my head, but I was looking, I'm like, he's got all this stuff like that. We bonded over the Savage Dragon because that was so freaking good, and I love that you got the fins, the detail. Like you have to have the fins, obviously.
Yeah.
But so I know you're on Twitch. I think are you a Twitch partner?
Yes.
So how much did Twitch grow what you're doing?
Some actually, and it wasn't necessarily the comic book stuff. It's some of the other stuff I do. Do I have one? No, I guess I don't. Maybe I do.
Oh,
Yeah, I do.
Nice.
Actually, a piece like this.
Ooh. Oh, nice. That's cool.
got
So
you.
get it on camera.
That is cool.
So
All the way through.
Yeah.
yeah, it's so you've got the 3 different evolutions, and it's chat. Just being able to interact with chat, I get ideas.
Yeah.
Cool.
Actually the picture that you guys posted today, one of the pieces was a character from Diablo 3.
I was Tyrion.
Yes.
Yes,
Kind
and
of the wings coming. That was great.
mhm.
I love that.
And actually that piece isn't finished. I cut it out almost 6 months ago. I still haven't finished it. There's actually going to be a gap between the blue background and the foreground, and I'm going to run LED lights behind it.
Oh, awesome.
Oh man.
So it'll pop out.
Nice.
And that
Layers are
piece-
big with you, man. It's,
Yeah.
That one, 160 individual holes that I cut out.
Wow.
Goodness.
So okay, so something like that with the LEDs and everything, is that a piece that you would sell, and if so, how much would you charge?
$1 a hole.
Pretty darn close. Yeah, I would. That specific one was for somebody.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I finish it, then yes, I could definitely make one and sell it. But the time that I put into it, and same with like the Pokemon pieces, I could not sell them in a way that would make it worth my while.
Okay.
People just don't, it's like, oh, I'll give you $20 for it. It's like,
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Have you seen how this
right.
what this takes?
yeah, exactly. But yeah, chat, the Twitch environment, it's just really helped me continue with doing the more pop culture geek stuff.
Right.
Gaming, comic books, all that different type of stuff. And this is the environment that I love.
Right.
And then going to cons, it's like, oh my God, where was this when I was a kid?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I know the Twitch IRL section and like the talk show section is just blown up for.
Yes.
It's made it so much more. Because I remember Justin TV.
Yeah.
Justin,
Yeah.
and when it was just.
My TV.
Yeah, your TV.
Yeah.
But like it was just games, and there weren't guys making hundreds of dollars playing.
And there were like 12 guys playing video games.
Yeah, and now
Right.
we see guys getting like $1,000 donations in the middle of their stream for getting a good kill on Call of Duty. Like
it's
crazy.
eating ramen.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you can
the
do
guys who just like stream their
Yeah.
lives. But it's cool to see what it's able to do. Like I've seen a lot of artists I follow on Instagram. They say, "Hey, I'm going live on Twitch," and they have a live sketch session.
Yeah.
And you can interact with them, and it's so cool.
Since they took it to general streaming, it's that creative bit of it has been incredible. Just because people, not everybody, but I mean, people are interesting.
Yeah.
Like case in point, this is like we found this interesting. I'm used to it being games, Justin TV, and now there's this woodwork, like the scroll woodworker on there. I'm just like, I'm gonna sink 4 hours of my night. I'm gonna finish dinner and still be watching this. Like,
I think it's
Then-
fantastic.
The folks that are in the cosplay.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Oh, there's one streamer. His name's Hoku Props, and he not this year, but the previous year, he did a full-size Reinhardt.
Oh my god.
Hoku's about my height, about 5'10".
Yeah.
Inside of the Reinhardt, he's over 10 feet.
Oh. I mean, true to
and-
scale, but still, I mean,
Yeah, it's
twice as big as he
he
is.
was one of the 20 finalists for the TwitchCon cosplay.
Wow.
Nice. Very nice.
And so at TwitchCon, he was there and he won it.
Very cool.
I mean, in a
And-
10-foot Reinhardt, you better.
Wait, now which one?
Actually, there was 2 of them.
I was about to say,
Oh,
I
okay.
saw at one point there was a con where I saw 3 of them. They were all like 3 different skins. Which one
Oh.
is he the one that does the LED eye, or is that not him?
Yes. No, that is him.
Yeah.
And-
Oh, he's so good. He
he
literally has
designed
an
that-
LED.
So did they show
Yeah.
him making the costume over the course of a year,
Yes.
however long it took him?
Yeah, he doesn't have to show on the cosplay contest for TwitchCon. They don't have to show the entire thing,
Okay.
but they have to have like a minimum of 36 hours.
Oh, so that's part of the deal. Part of
Yeah.
the thing was that you show you making it, not
Yes.
just the costume itself.
Right.
Okay.
They have to, and so for the folks that are into cosplaying, oh my God, the creative environment. I mean, you've got people like Hoku that, or Evil Ted Smith,
Yeah.
who is a top-rated, nationally known props builder. And these guys, you get into their stream and you ask them a question, and they're happy to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the creative section on Twitch, it's I tell people that if there's something that you enjoy creative-wise, you'll find somebody streaming it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I always thought that Twitch was just games, and it took me a really long time to discover. Like, I love watching some of these guys play games, but some of them I'm far more entertained just by them
Right.
than the games. And it was. I realized there's an entire section where I can just like watch interesting people do interesting things. It's funny that you mention it because the winner of TwitchCon's cosplay contest this year, the Ronin Cosplay, friend of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, he his.
But does he follow you on Twitch?
That's the
Or on-
question.
on
That
Twitter.
We have to hunt him down.
On
I don't know
Twitter.
if he follows us on Twitter, but I know his girlfriend, who I worked with, she's also a cosplayer. And through that, like I saw he won with God of War. He went as the God of War.
Kratos.
Kratos. And he's also he's a 3D designer.
Oh.
So and he shows his process. His process is freaking cool
Tim
when it
is
comes.
a 3D designer.
It is true.
Technically.
It is true. 3D. Yeah, whatever.
Woodworking.
Yeah. I was gonna try to, and I didn't have anything.
It was in 3 dimensions. He added depth.
So
Oh yeah.
Tim, thank you for coming on.
Oh, thank you guys.
We would love to have you in studio at some point because you're not that far away.
Right.
No, I'm not.
Maybe-
And actually, I'm planning on being in Sacramento Saturday.
The 25th.
Oh,
Yes.
This coming Saturday.
real soon.
Yeah.
That's
no,
actually, I think I was asking Curtis where you guys broadcast from because I keep forgetting, and I'm really hoping. Yeah, I'm really hoping to be able to stop by. I'm actually going to be stopping. The main reason for the trip is I'm going to another store there in town, which you guys have been to before, and actually did a podcast from.
I may be still employed there actually.
Are these friends of the show?
Oh, are you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I work. I helped open Oblivion.
Yeah, Oblivion. We can say it.
Okay.
We can say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
we
can
go.
say their name. Don't worry.
Is this the friends of the show episode?
other
It is. It's the Friends of the Show episode.
Yeah, actually, I'm meeting with Laura. The plan is Saturday afternoon.
Nice.
Cool.
So I'm going to be in town, hang out, and love to meet up with you guys
Yeah.
if you're going to be in town.
Yeah. Let us well, let us know when and where. I'll be there.
Yes.
Saturday is I've got time.
And here's an idea for the future. We in the future should have like a 24-hour marathon of our show. One segment of that show is you back here making something.
Just
Boom.
We've been talking about a charity stream.
Yes.
A charity stream.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we can't go that long. So
I am down.
Speak for yourself. I mean,
it'd be nice to have a little bit of extra.
Line up the rock stars. Line them up.
Yeah. And hey, we'll bring when I stream. What I do is I put a webcam as a close-up on the saw.
Nice.
And you can do that. And I did that from if you're familiar with Extra Life,
Yeah.
the college in Bakersfield, Cal State Bakersfield, Rowdy Con was a Extra Life fundraiser, and they did almost like a con in one building, and they connected me with the university's internet, and I was able to stream, be at the con, have my booth.
That's awesome.
And it's like, what more can you ask for?
Yeah.
If we have this marathon, I may dress like Bob Vila. I might do that. And just be over your shoulder talking about house improvements while you're making the design.
I may dress like Bob Ross.
He might dress like Bob Ross.
Is Bob Vila a big inspiration to you, Tim?
I like Bob Vila.
You're more an Al Borland guy, though, right? Al Borland,
Yeah.
Who was this old house?
This old house is Bob Vila.
That was Vila? Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. I got you.
This
And
is
then,
taking a strange turn.
Oh yeah. I get the Tim Taylor
Yeah.
comments.
I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
Did you not?
I don't know how I didn't get that.
In fact, I think I've got a command in my stream where when the mods kick off the command, it's like, I don't think so, Tim. It's
Pretty
like,
good.
That's fantastic.
Nice.
Oh yeah, it's fun, but it's there's a lot of good woodworkers, and people ask me, it's like, well, can you make a chair? Can you do furniture? It's like, no, not if you want to sit in it.
Don't put your limitations on there. Say, I can, but I shan't.
Exactly.
I will not for you.
Not for you.
So,
That's awesome.
yeah, I'd love to meet up with you guys Saturday.
Yeah,
definitely.
Well, I'm excited. That's so soon.
Piper's like, I can't even wait.
It was. It was not even like. It's like, I'll see you in a couple months. Like, no, I'll see you Saturday.
Yeah.
This Saturday.
And there's a great pizza place right by Oblivion.
What's it called? Pequods?
No, that's
Chicago.
That's the place in Chicago that friend of the show Tim Seeley told us to go to.
We're gonna start this episode with the Friends theme. That's what we're gonna start with. We're gonna be in front of. We're gonna be on a couch. There's gonna be water, umbrellas.
There's just Tim with his saw.
Tim
just
with his
going.
saw. Tim Seeley with Hack Slash magazine.
Now I got a horrible story about pizza delivery in
Please.
your town.
Oh, our town.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it was. I was at SAC Anime, and I actually shared a booth with a friend by the name of George the Giant, and I see that look. George the Giant. Okay, side story. George the Giant is the world's tallest sword swallower.
Oh, geez.
Oh yeah.
He's 7'3".
Yeah.
Oh.
It's insane.
He is. He does sword swallowing. He does fire breathing.
And he
In fact, he
swallows
was
an
in the-
8-foot sword.
Actually, he holds the record for swallowing the longest sword.
Oh my God.
That's awesome.
But his size.
I
Right.
mean, yeah. But I mean, that's you gotta measure twice and
Oh,
swallow
yeah.
once. I mean, like that is like
There's a woodworking joke for you, Tim.
how far down is the bottom of my stomach? Like,
Did you ever see the movie Big Fish?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. The circus scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the guy the giant that's breathing fire,
Yes.
bald headed. He blasts out of that thing. That's George.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so and I don't remember where I was going with
Pizza.
George.
The
Oh,
pizza.
George and I
Pizza,
were at
yeah.
SAC Anime. Well, we went to the hotel and ordered a pizza to be delivered. And 2.5 hours later, we finally gave up on it.
Oh.
And we found out the next morning it was delivered to a different room. Poor George was like, I'm hungry.
Right? Do they not know how big I am?
Exactly. So, and actually, Bakersfield Comic Con this last weekend, I was hanging out with. I didn't have a booth. I hung out at George's.
Nice.
And it actually SAC Anime. If you were there, he actually did sword swallowing from the booth.
Oh wow.
I know.
And
I get nervous.
added to that 24-hour marathon. We're bringing George. He's gonna choke slam me through a table. I'm gonna take it.
I didn't think that's where you're going with it.
Boom!
Stick
He's
a
actually
sword
has
in
he is Andre the Giant's size.
Yeah.
I'll sell it.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm sure you'd be happy to do it.
But he doesn't have the the weird medical issue that
True.
Andre
Yeah.
had, which means
Oh, no,
he's actually
no.
living a much longer life.
There you
Right.
go. That's good.
He's just naturally that tall. It's not the stuff.
So do you want to say the pizza place?
It's a national chain.
Oh, okay. That's
Alright.
that's
That's cool.
understandable. I was hoping it wasn't like a local place that we're like, oh really?
Just in case Tim gets
Yeah.
a pizza sponsorship later on. He wants
Yeah,
to stay
yeah.
safe.
Well, just if he did say, it'd be beep.
Right.
Oh yeah, they're not
Nothing
good.
soothes the Tim Woodsman like the wood-fired pizza. And then just,
That sounds good. Now I'm gonna have to go get some.
Awesome.
Gago
So-
fire.
Well, Tim, again, thank you for coming on.
It's my pleasure.
We will see you
Let's get-
soon. We will do this
Yeah.
again. Saturday. We're gonna commission some work and
yeah. Oh.
and yeah, start looking.
I know I have to find the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah,
that
and
gauntlet.
Cassie.
and yeah.
Oh.
So Tim, list all of the social media, the website. Give us everything about
Twitch,
you.
yeah.
Tim's WW. So TIMS WW is my Twitch and my website. So timsww.com. So I'm either listed as that or Tim_Munsey, on Twitter, I think. So yeah, I'm Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, whole 9 yards.
Definitely check out Tim's work because it is. We're not just trying to we're not just blowing smoke. Like it's
Right.
awesome.
He's not acquaintance of the show.
No, friend of the show.
And I follow you on Twitter.
Yeah, he follows us
He
on
does.
Twitter. You know who else
But-
follows us on
but
Twitter?
do you follow
Scott
us
Snyder.
on
Scott
Do you
Snyder.
follow us on
Oh,
Twitch?
I've heard that.
He does
So,
follow us on Twitch.
any specific characters I should have with me this weekend?
Thanos.
There's a Deadpool Thanos.
We were just talking to Seeley about it.
That cover would work
Yeah,
if I
That's-
remember right.
there you go.
Okay. Would the Infinity Gauntlet not work? The one where he's like holding it and it's shining out from the gauntlet.
If we did just the gauntlet and took Thanos out of it,
Oh, he's walking
Oh,
off.
there he goes. There he goes.
He's walking. He's the only
We'll
one.
figure something out.
We'll figure it
oh
out.
yeah,
Don't worry.
definitely. But
We'll get him
yeah.
Josh Brolin in Goonies. He'll be happy with that.
Oh, I've been wanting to do a Goonies piece, like a flag, where it says "Goonies never die,"
Nice.
and I always come up with ideas. And,
Goonies, Josh Brolin wearing the gauntlet.
That would just be weird.
Ooh.
Awesome. Tim's getting creative. Tim,
You know,
I have it. Don't worry, anybody. I got it. I
Found it.
Got
He actually
dude, no,
went
look
and
at
found
that.
it.
That cover is way too complex.
Oh, just the gauntlet.
That's-
It's fine.
That's a lot. That's a lot. No, because
That's true.
Mephisto and
All of
Death
it, yeah.
and that's understandable. We'll figure something out. Tim, thank you
yeah.
as always. We will
Thanks,
talk to you
guys.
soon. Tim Munsey, check him
I
out.
look
Tim's
forward to
WW.
Thank you, Tim.
Bye,
I'll see
Tim.
you on Twitch.
yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah. I was playing around there this afternoon. I was
Man,
checking on
so-
Twitch on my phone. I was just like, who's
a
on?
tale of two Tims.
Yeah, dude. That was
Charles Dickens couldn't write this.
Just
Well,
try.
he sure didn't.
I about to say no. That wasn't.
Crusaders did.
I don't think. Wait, was Tale of Two Cities?
Yeah, Tale of Two Tims.
Yeah, it was
My bad.
Dickensian.
My bad. I don't know what's going on. Man, I'm exhausted.
Are you?
I don't know about you guys.
I'll go another round.
You
Do
want?
we, do we have another Tim
Let's find
lined up?
another-
We got Tim the Tap Man on that.
Get another Tim in here. Tim the
Tim the Tapman.
Come on in, Tim.
Million followers
Another
on Twitch.
Twitcher. I'm
Starts
not-
tap
I think
dancing in
he-
the back over here.
I think he's at 1.8 million.
Yeah. Let's. I can't think.
Tim
of,
Arnold. Come on. No, it's Tom Arnold. My bad.
No,
Tim Meadows, everybody. We
Tim
got him on.
Meadows.
Tim Drake. He's
Tim
a fictional
Drake.
character.
Yeah,
but
bring him
we'll
in.
get him on there.
There's thumbs up.
So
Tim Drake. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, anyway,
We made friends.
we laughed.
We laughed.
I cried.
Come out to California. You know.
Yeah.
We'll
We'll go
have
to
a-
the coast. We'll get together.
We'll
have a
good
few
time.
laughs.
Yeah. Unless you're Tim Seeley, who apparently isn't a fan of the West Coast. But
Chicago boy.
we'll give him that pass.
But he just said come out to the coast. He didn't say West Coast.
That's true.
Could be east.
You got a point.
Yeah.
Nakatomi
There's a
Plaza
southern,
could be.
there's a southern coast.
Nobody.
No one goes there.
No, I mean-
I'm just saying it's a thing.
Caribbean.
That's about going to wrap it up for this episode. Because this is a powerhouse, blockbuster, epic event.
This is a good one.
This is a good
I mean,
one.
I'm proud of this one.
Manderson, if you're watching, your episode last week was amazing.
I loved it.
But
I meant to tell you.
I don't know, man. This one was but I mean, me and Manderson made magic with nothing. This we just had,
This magic was thrust upon us. It fell into our laps.
Yes. I was gonna think of the greatness is,
Some are born great.
Thank
some
you.
achieve greatness.
Thank you.
Some have greatness thrust upon
There
them.
it is.
Shakespeare.
Should have ended the show with that. But
Dang it! Rewind it.
cut
Play it back.
Cut the check.
Anthony Mackie.
I guess we'll call it because I got nothing else.
Yeah.
You know where you can find everything that we just talked about?
Where?
TheCaplessCrusaders.com.
Oh,
It's a hub.
got me
That's
again.
true.
It's
It's
right
the
there.
website. It's got everything.
Look at that.
It's got our YouTube, our Twitch, our blogs, our Instagram, so on and so forth. Computer Booter. They're cool guys.
They are.
They're great. I'm tripping over it. They mobile device repair, computer repair, retro video game lounge.
Sure.
You just hang out and play, and
The lounge part is my favorite part.
I love game lounge.
It's my favorite, yeah. And I've been waiting for the resurgence because I legitimately, not for the purpose of this show, I would ask people like, I wanted to get back, and not the CSGO scene, but like,
Gross.
yeah, but like I wanted that kind of thing back around where there was a LAN cafes. I like playing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's hot, but I mean, it has resurged.
Do you
It's
remember?
here.
Do you remember when there was a Wizards of the Coast store at Sun Valley?
Yes.
And they had that back room where you could go play games.
I remember it was there, but I never.
My mom
I
never let
went.
me go because it was super expensive.
Yeah.
But it was the best.
That's why I didn't go.
Man, it was just that was cool.
It's coming back. It's coming back, baby.
We also sponsored in part by Empire's Comics.
Oh.
Yeah.
Empire's Comics Vault.
Everything
Ben,
you see
our home
around
away
you.
from home. Everything you see here, your home
They
for
had my
comics.
gauntlet.
They got the hack slash. They got the Savage Dragon. That's the that's
Got
how
the Punisher.
That's how the French say it. So, my name is David Barry at Dr. Barry on varying social media platforms. I post dog pictures. I play Hearthstone and a little bit of Call of Duty because I'm that guy. To my left, we have.
Touch me.
Oh, okay.
I'm the Mad Piper. I should say farewell, foolish mortals. This is the Mad Piper. Don't ignore that Justin part and put Themid in front of it, because that is me, the Mad Piper. I'm not undisclosed anymore. I'm His Majesty, his
Themid?
Themid Piper.
Themid. Sit with it, yeah.
Oh,
Yes. His Majesty, HISMAD, all one word.
Got it.
To my, hold on. It's been cotton.
The man is going to have to explain to his wife soon why there's a huge woodworking piece of Cassie Hack in the garage. This is the Azorian one, Anthony Steves.
It's one entire wall
Lots
of the garage.
Lots of wood going on in there.
In the garage.
For all of us here at the Capeless Crusaders, our friends down in LA, our friends behind the camera, a special thanks to my wife for running the switcher.
Yeah!
This has all been her. This is fantastic.
Make us
She's
look good.
multi-talented, and she's grown a child while doing
And
it.
I found out, made the call.
Made the call.
Yeah, made the seamless
the
Munsey
seamless
call.
transition. It was awesome.
Munsey call.
And also, have a happy Thanksgiving. A
Happy Thanksgiving.
and safe Thanksgiving, everyone.
Eat your
Enjoy.
Brussels sprouts.
As long as they're fried and fat.
Roast
Boom!
Roast them too.
Nope.
Enjoy your families, your friends, and from the Capeless Crusaders. Good night.
Yeah!